I'm in the cinema, food court area. See all the movies here. Advertisements for the movies playing there, and you can see what's playing right now. I'll show you guys what's playing right now. My stream might stop though. So we have hold on a second. So we got, I don't know if you guys can still see. Playing right now, we got Elio, got 28 hours, or 28 days later, or something like that. We got F1. F1 looks like it's gonna be good. F1 looks like it's gonna be good. Who else we got here? Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch been playing for a good minute. What else we got? How to Tame Your Dragon or something like that. Train Your Dragon, something like that. It's a horror movie, etc., etc., etc. And why am I talking about all of this stuff? Well, I think that top fans, what's that about? Something in the corners, top fans. And they did an ad. I think this is 28 hours later. Yeah, it's 28 hours later. So right on the screen right there. All right, man. Shout out to 4KO. 4KO, you were right, man. Warner Brothers just doesn't get it. They keep on doing it time and time again. Bro, I feel for you because a lot of us, I was on Facebook and, a lot of people have their hopes up that this movie, Superman's going to not flop. It's going to do well. It's trying to do well. I just don't see it. I mean, it's the same stuff. It's the same recycled stuff we got for the last 8 years. It's funny, targeting kids, trying to sell toys, none of which actually is being successful. I don't get it. It is what it is, you know. I don't get it though. Shout out to my boy Lord Koj in the building. Shout out to Koj. Shout out to Leaky, also known as YG. Shout out to Reliz and Galton and Muhammad. You know, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to my boy. Forgot what his name is. We know what is up. I'm tired. I'm very tired. We know what's up. We know that. Can't wait. Can't wait for July 11th to come and go. You know. They continue to call us delusional. They continue to call us all kinds of names. But there's just no precedent for what is going on, you know, with Superman. I explained to people that Superman is not a character that's easy to put up on the screen and be successful, particularly in box office. 4KO makes a great point that the reviews basically saying of James Gunn Superman is like Superman 2 on steroids, which is basically Superman 3 and 4, and they flopped. I think Warner Brothers is trying to get as much money as they can. Fix up. You know, it's basically, Superman 2, 3 is basically, it's the same kind of movie. It's just A waste of time and energy, you know. And the sad thing about it is, you would think this studio, after 8 movie flops in a row, closed down a whole universe, still flopping, would learn. But no, they come back with the same thing. Time and time again, they come back with the same content. And what are we supposed to do about it? You know what I'm saying? So we just have to let it play out, let the movie flop. They're talking about the studio probably pumping in money into the movie and buying out the seats to make the movie successful. I don't understand why they would do something like that. Just make a good movie. But you can't do that, right? You can't make a movie based on what people are telling you they want. So, about to get what you're about to get, you know. So many fake accounts I've had to encounter online, right? And it's easy to know a fake account. I'll explain to you how easy it is. You look at the date the account is formed, and then you just look at how many followers that account has. A normal account, if it's following certain people and you're posting certain things, you're gonna start getting followers, right? If you have an account for 4 or 5 years, that account is at least gonna have at least 100 followers, right? You see accounts with less than 100 followers, been around for more than 4 or 5 years, you know that account is really an account they're using to troll with. It's an account that has been constructed as an alternative account to another account. The main account, whoever's main account it is, will have more followers. Another way of knowing how you see a fake account is by a lot of these accounts are recently made, right? So you look and then it's like, what's going on here on Twitter? Accounts in the month of June or in the month of July, like this is the month of July, the account is made in July or in March. Then you ask yourself, and it actually has no followers or whatever, just recently. And then the other thing about the account is the name of the account. Most accounts with gun fans or gun tards, guns, they're usually some sort of ridiculous name, you know, so you know it's a trolling account. You know it's not a serious account. So all of these things I look at. There's a guy on Twitter who, in response to my post, which I think it had like over 700 likes or whatever, the guy comes out there and like you just see a series of accounts, one after the other responding, right? You know it's the same person. You systematically block, and then the person responds in one of the accounts. So you know this is the sort of thing that's going on online. You know, people are making a whole bunch of fake accounts. Casey Bloys, who is a executive in Warner Brothers for the HBO brands, literally admitted that he was just busy making accounts and trolling people. So, I mean, this is what an executive in Warner Brothers do. That's the kind of level of interaction these people are about. And it's sad, you know. So they're hoping for the Superman movie to do well because it's Superman. So, you know, the opening weekend, they're expecting something. By the way, there's the Superman poster. The Superman poster in there, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it. The Superman poster there to go into the cinema. This is Cinemas 8, I think. Caribbean Cinemas. So, they have the Superman thing going on there. I think they put it up very recently, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And I personally, well, obviously the the movie that's coming out is not for me, right? It's just not my thing, so I'm not even gonna bother. But quite frankly, um, I'm shocked that the studio is just adamant on getting a Batman and Robin feel. You know, they seem to be falling after every single flop. Now, James Gunn, he likes to poke fun at everything, right? Why would you do that for Superman? Why do you think that will work for Superman? I don't know. It is what it is. You know. So the studio's going all in on that, and aiming for a rude awakening. You know, they're talking about marketing campaigns and all of this stuff. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be awful. You know, but I am interested in Jurassic World. I am interested in that. That's the one thing that's got my interest a little bit. Really, nothing else for the summer seems interesting except for Karate Kid. Like I said before, I want to see Karate Kid. Anything with Jackie Chan in it should be interesting. You know. But I just wanted to say a shout out to 4KO, dead on the money as usual. I don't know why they think that what we are saying is only limited to a certain demographic, Snyder fans or whatever they think they are. They don't understand that this is just the way a DC is. The audience that comes to see DC, that respond to DC, and they respond mostly to a certain kind of movie, spirit movies or whatever, serious takes on them. All right, Aquaman was an exception; it was an outliner, and you know, the movie upcoming year just doesn't cut it, man. It just does not cut it. This reminds me of what Joss Whedon did with Justice League. This reminds me of what Patty Jenkins did with Wonder Woman 84 and so on and so on and so on. It's awful. I don't see it doing well in the cinemas at all. See, even if you're targeting children, you have to understand the demographic that we're dealing with. They're not going to put out their money. They'll probably send the kids maybe. They're not going to put out their money to go see that stuff. They're just not going to. Here's what it is. This is what I want to see. That right there. You see that? Jurassic World. That's the joint right there. Anyways, people, man. That's all I got. That's what I got for you guys for now. Shout out to my boy Damien Anton Vincent. Damien, it looks like Warner Brothers is going to shut down. Looks like if this don't work out, they're going to shut down. I was listening to Something Geeks. I forgot what their name is. Something Geeks. And they were talking about how, you know, they're going to green light Supergirl. Supergirl ain't going to get green light. If Superman tanks, if Superman flops, there'll be nothing. The DC will be over before it began. They're going to have to abandon a whole set of stuff. I'm telling you. If it just don't work, if that sort of thing, shout out to Leroy Kong. Hello to you, great live. Shout out to Leroy. What's up, bro? Hey, man. Let me ask you a question, Leroy. Let me ask you a question. I know you're a positive guy. You know, you're a DC guy. How do you feel about Superman, the film? How do you feel about that? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on this upcoming film this summer? How you feel about it? Now that you've seen the trailers, now that you've seen some of the clips in the movie, how do you feel about the upcoming Superman? You know, there's a clip with Steppenwolf saying for Darkseid, and it's about to, you know, smack Ray Fisher's cyborg in the shoulder, and Superman intervenes and he hits Superman on his shoulder. Boom! Superman says, "Not impressed." That's how I feel. I'm not impressed. It's not simply not impressed with what's happening. So, anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Got some updates on Free Palestine. I'll tell you guys about some other time. But I thought I'd just do this quick stream. This stream is brought to you by LIVE Products. LIVE, live now, we're live now. Feel free to add some more thoughts. So I want to hear your thoughts, Leroy. What do you think about that? What do you think about this upcoming Superman film? What do you think about it? James Gunn and these clowns fail. Not impressed. It should be Henry Cavill. You know, now let me just make it abundantly clear. David Cornsweet is a very good actor. That's how I feel about it. But I just think that the way the content that James Gunn is forcing David Cornsweet to do, he might as well have hired the guy who played Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, you should have hired him. Chris Pratt. Should have hired Chris Pratt, man. What he's doing with this gentleman is just wrong, you know. And the guy's a good actor. It's like when you know what it feels like. It feels like what they did to Ben Affleck in Justice League, and Justice League meaning Joss Whedon's Justice League. How they did Ben so bad, and even in the Flash, you know, Ben executed what they asked him to do, but you know, I just did not enjoy it. And I don't know if the executives, they enjoy this sort of stuff and they're laughing and chuckling about it. But for me to see a badass Batman turn into a joke, a meme, a parody, it's terrible, you know? And I feel for the actor who's playing Superman, Lyra Kong says, a huge downgrade. I know, brother. I know. It's like taking Henry Cavill, who was in BVS and Man of Steel, and put him in Justice League and messing up his face. It feels like a violation, you know. Lyra Kong says, wallets closed. I know, brother. And you are a DC fan. You represent what all of DC's about. And I just, you know, I can't see myself. For the life of me, I can't see myself. I already was predisposed not to enjoy those kinds of movies, right? That's why I don't watch Marvel like that. You watch Marvel, but I don't. And then to see David Cornsweet, who I'm sure is an excellent actor. And I think, to be honest with you, I could see a version of David Cornsweet playing Superman, taking Superman and the character seriously. I could see David Cornsweet being, you know, like Tyler Hoechlin, like Henry Cavill. I could see him playing a role of Superman that really truly matches his caliber of actor. But I'm telling you right now, and I've seen David Cornsweet in other movies, you know, and he's not bad. He's a decent actor. The thing about it is, you know the meme where Batman's just doing this? That's how I feel about it, you know? It's like, oh man, you know, I remember when the fans were saying of Zack Snyder that, you know, he destroyed Superman and, you know, Henry's a great actor, but he just got a bad script or whatever. You know, the weirdest thing is, I actually feel that way about James Gunn and what he's doing to his version of Superman using David Cornsweet. I think David Cornsweet is a much better actor than this movie is going to show him as. Just like how I think Ben Affleck is a much better actor than the Flash movie showed him as, and as Justice League, with Joss Whedon directed Justice League, showed him as Batman. Your account says Henry Cavill is peak Superman, wrong casting. I'll say this. I'll say that when I saw David Cornsweet the first time, and he was, in the gym, getting ripped and shit, I thought David Cornsweet looked like a rip-off Henry Cavill. But David Cornsweet is his own person. He does it, he has his own ways. But I could see David Cornsweet playing a serious Superman and really killing it. I could see it. Tyler Hoechlin played a really serious Superman, killed it. I could actually see David Cornsweet, being a Superman. But the way how James Gunn has him depicted, and the costuming, and the quality of the movie, and then having him yell and scream and bawl and shout and just like he's like Star-Lord. You know what I'm saying? Chris Pratt. It's like Chris Pratt back at reincarnation of Chris Pratt on the screen. Or even what's the guy's name? What's the guy's name that plays Peacemaker? All right. It's like Peacemaker on the screen, or Chris Pratt on the screen. James Gunn, and there's a lot of shouting, shout, and a lot of venom being thrown, and clashes, and that's just not. It's not what we're looking for. Even when we look at Zack Snyder's Justice League, the approach that Zack Snyder's Justice League was, it wasn't a clash. It was about people coming together, and I don't know why. I'm not trying to be. Here's the trailer right here. There you go. They're playing it. Yeah, John Cena, that's the name. Yeah, they're playing it right now. I'm in the mall, chilling. I just don't get it, man. I honestly, bro, I just don't get it. And then they're going back to the same old Superman theme. They've been killing it. Warner Brothers has been killing it with this Superman theme. We got that Superman theme. We got that Superman theme for Justice League. Remember that? We got that Superman theme for the Flash, and we also got that theme for Black Adam. So we had it in Black Adam, we had it in the Flash, and we had it in Justice League. And Warner Bros. Just will not give up. Here they are again. Same thing again. Same thing again. They're playing John Williams' theme again. I don't know why is it that the programming in their minds is, no, we have to have John Williams' theme. That's the most recognized theme. Why? There's certain things I just don't get. I hate to go to Free Palestine for a minute, but the whole world is saying, stop this genocide. Saying to the leaders, it's to the governments of the different places, governments of countries. People are in their millions protesting. And yet, same kind of mentality, the same kind of hard-headedness. You will not listen to the people. Right? Black Adam. Yeah, shout out to Lyricon. Yeah, Black Adam. You will not listen to them. I don't understand that, man. I don't. These kids here enjoying themselves. Got some families here. It's going to be vacation very soon. It's not vacation yet. This week, I think, is the last week of school. The kids doing exams and stuff. So, and this is month end, so people got paid and stuff. So, people are going into the cinema to watch their movies and stuff. So that's what you're seeing around you, you know. And I'm just out here, just kind of chilling. There's like a game thing for kids right on the side here. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, what's wrong with Why am I? I don't understand. Oh, there it is, right there. But it's closed right now. It's like almost 9 o'clock. I gotta get to stepping. But I'm just saying, the Snyderverse forever, my DC live action. Yeah, bro. When you think of Justice League Unlimited, when you think of Superman, The Adventures of Superman, when you think of what is it? The Adventures of Batman? It's not Adventures of Batman. What was it? I can't remember. Whatever it's called. Started in 1992 after Batman Returns, right? When you think of these movies, man, when you think of Dark Justice, when you think of Batman and Robin, Batman, Superman, so many, Superman Unchained, there's so much, and all of these I just quoted, whether it's The Killing Joke or whatever it is, these are serious movies. DC always had serious stuff, especially in the animated part. And then James Gunn came with these obscure characters and started bringing in obscure stuff, and oh man, it's so bad. But I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out there for everybody out there that one thing that don't lie, numbers don't lie. So we're gonna see. I ain't gonna watch this movie. I'm not watching that movie. What I will be watching probably is Jurassic Park. I didn't get to go see The Accountant 2 in cinemas, and I don't have Amazon Prime, so I won't be able to see that. I'm not interested in Fantastic Four, but I am interested in Jurassic World Rebirth. That looks interesting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. I'm busy working most of the day, so I'm not really able to come. And then when I put out something, I put out mostly on Free Palestine. I do a little bit of restore the Snyderverse. They say I'm delusional. They say we are delusional for asking for the Snyderverse. How can you be delusional? What is delusional about that? If you're passionate about the Snyderverse and you want to see it happen, and you're asking for it, how are you delusional? Then I hear people say, well, you need to move on. But you come on my post. You know what I'm saying? You come on my post, where I post up something, and you're telling me to move on, but you're not moving on because you're on my post. I never understood these things, Man. Shout out, Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, great live. Thank you, man, Leroy. Hey, Leroy Kong. If you guys haven't seen, he has like 4 YouTube channels. Check him out. You're looking for Leroy Kong, just type in Leroy Kong YouTube or Leroy Kong in YouTube, and you're gonna find his channel. And check out his channel. Check out Leroy Kong on YouTube. Check out also Leroy Kong. He's Leroy Kong 1, 2, 3, 4. I think you have 5 channels, right, Leroy? Check out all his channels, man. Anyways, this is what I got for you guys. I'm gonna be out of here now. Peace, everybody. Have a good night. I'll turn this thing off.